Hey there, YouTube. Today's video, I thought I would do some IPv6 tunnels. We're going to use EIGRP to go in between our routers 1 and 3 here. To start with, I already have the basic configuration set up here with all of our loopback interface between 1, 2, and 3, as well as our serial interfaces. The IPv6 addresses on routers 1 and 3 are already set up as well under the interface configuration, given the IPv6 address and putting these respective addresses in there. So our steps for this particular lab is we're going to set up EIGRP for the IPv4 addresses, so we have connectivity between all three of our routers here. Then the next step, we will build our IPv6 tunnel between routers 1 and 3. And then lastly, we will set up EIGRP for IPv6 to communicate between routers 1 and 3 to distribute the IPv6 addresses between each other. So let's get started on it. I am in router 1 right now, and we're going to set up our EIGRP for IPv4. Router EIGRP1, we're going to put no auto on here. So that's going to give us our loopback address as well as our serial interface address. We'll go over to router 2. We should get an adjacency, and we do. And now we'll move on to router 3. We should get another adjacency, and we do. So now we have IPv4 connected. We have, let's go to router 2. We should see 2 neighbors. And we do. So we are fully converged. And so our next step is we're going to build our IPv6 tunnels between routers 1 and routers 3. So we're going to start by going interface tunnel 0. To build tunnel interface, we'll do tunnel mode IPv6 IP. We got to give it a source, and then next we'll do a destination. .23.3, which is our serial 01 interface on router 3. And next we have to give it the IPv6 address, which is going to be our FEC0:13:0/112. We're going to use 13:1 for router 1 and 13:3 for router 3. Now that is complete on that side, so we'll move over to router 3 and we'll set up this side. Tunnel mode IPv6 IP. This side, the tunnel source is serial 01. And give it our destination of 172.16.12.1. And we'll give it IPv6 address, FEC0:13:3/112. Alright, so now let's try to test our connectivity between our tunnel interfaces. So let's ping router 1 at FEC0 ::13:1. That is successful. Now we'll try from the other side. And that is successful. So now that is up. Now our next step is we need to configure EIGRP to run over IPv6 on this tunnel. And as you can recall from the previous videos that I put up, the IPv6 with OSPF, IPv6 EIGRP is set up a little bit different. We do not go through the global config of router EIGRP as you normally would with IPv4. Instead, we're going to do it on the interface level. So we will start on that. We're on router 1. We're going to enable IPv6 routing. Put it in there twice. There we go. Now we'll go to our interface loopback 0. And we're going to do IPv6. EIGRP, we'll put this in area 100. And set up our tunnel. We need to do the same. Alright, now we need to do the same thing on our other side. We'll do IPv6. EIGRP 100, and lastly, our tunnel. And we should get a neighbor. To IPv6, EIGRP neighbor. Alright, as you see, EIGRP 100 is showing that it is shut down. So what we need to do here is we're going to do a IPv6 router EIGRP 100, and we will do a no shutdown on it. Alright, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. We need to do IPv6 router, EIGRP, if I can spell, 100, do a no shut, and there's our neighborship. So now, let's take a look at our neighbors. Show IPv6 EIGRP neighbors, and there is our neighbor sitting happy at router 3. So to test this, let's try to ping the loopback 0 interface of FEC0:3:1, and that is successful. Now let's go back the other way. We'll do ping FEC0:1:1, and that is successful. So we are successful in sending traffic over an IPv6 tunnel. We have EIGRP set up to allow that. So now our last test that we can do is we can run a TCL script to test everything. As you remember, we set up EIGRP on IPv4 to have connectivity between the rest of our interfaces here. We have our loopback 0 up here, as well as our 10.1.1.1, 10.1.3.1 on our loopback zeros. So let's test, make sure we have connectivity with those. Here is our TCL script. This has every address that is on the network, our 10 dots, which are our loopbacks on routers 1, 2, and 3. We have our serial interface between routers 1 and 2 and routers 2 and 3, as well as our IPV6 addresses that we have at router 1, router 3, and our tunnel addresses. So we're going to copy this. And I'll start with router 1, TCL/SH. I'm going to dump that in. And we're successful all the way across. We'll do this for routers 2 and 3 as well. Of course, it's going to fail on router 2 because, one, it cannot see our tunnel interfaces and is also not going to see our IPv6 addresses anywhere. So for what we see here as far as IPv4 goes, that is successful. Now we will set this up on router 3. And we are 100% successful. So it looks like we are all good. If you have any questions, please comment. As always, like, subscribe, let me know I'm doing okay, and always thank you guys for watching.